Where did Carlos Gomez go in your draft? How much did someone pay for him in your auction? Gomez continued his amazing season, extending his hitting streak to 14 games, going 4 for 4 last night, and is now batting .386 with 6 home runs, 14 RBI, 7 stolen bases, and 22 runs scored, making him, by most accounts, the 4th most valuable offensive fantasy player in the game to date. Would anyone have believed you if you told him that with 20% of the season in the books, Ryan Braun would be the 2nd most valuable fantasy outfielder on the Brewers? What Gomez is doing is simply astounding. We always knew he was a good defender. We knew he could run and had pop in his bat, but now we're seeing what scouts saw when he was traded from the Mets to the Twins for Johan Santana as a 22-year-old. Gomez had a breakthrough season last year with 19 home runs and 37 stolen bases, but he hit just .260, which was 6 points above his career average. This season, he's leading all of Major League Baseball, hitting .386, 132 points higher than his career average. To put that in perspective, Gomez is hitting just about the same amount above his career average as Adam Dunn is hitting in total. That's unbelievable for both guys. So how's that Josh Hamilton signing working out for the Angels? About the same as it's working out for his fantasy owners. Hamilton hit his first home run since April 14th last night, giving him just 3 home runs and 10 RBI on the season. Rounding the numbers up, he's now batting .205. Not good. The Astros first baseman Chris Carter only has 2 strikeouts in his last 13 at-bats over his last 5 games. So what's so noteworthy about that? Well, considering that he struck out in every other game he's participated in before that, it's an accomplishment. Interestingly, since Houston demoted first baseman Brett Wallace and placed Carter back in his natural position, Carter is now homered in consecutive games, driving in 4. He's one of the most powerful bats in the game, and if he can start making regular contact, you'll start to see fantasy players gravitating towards him. Mets catcher John Buck has gone hitless for his 3rd straight game and is now hitting .236 on the season. You did listen when we told you to trade him while you could, didn't you? And Pirates outfielder Starling Marte extended his hitting streak to 7 games Wednesday, going 2 for 4. Marte now has 14 multi-hit games and has hit safely in 15 of his last 16. Batting .330 with 5 home runs, 16 RBI, 10 stolen bases, and 26 runs scored, he's the league's biggest offensive surprise this season, not named Carlos Gomez. Remember yesterday when I told you that Rangers catcher A.J. Pierzynski would be back in the lineup Friday? Forget about that. I lied. He'll now be placed on the DL with an oblique issue. Memo to the Rangers PR department. Rather than make me look like an idiot, next time we ask you a question and you don't know the answer, just don't make something up. Tell me you don't know. Nationals right fielder Jason Worth, who had missed the past 4 games while dealing with tightness in his hamstring, was held out of Wednesday due to poor weather, and he'll now have an MRI on his sore hamstring today. It sounds like a trip to the DL may be looming. Adrian Gonzalez is listed as day-to-day after having to leave last night's game aggravating his strained neck. No word on whether he'll be in today's lineup. And Troy Tulowitzki has to be driving his fantasy owners bonkers. You never know if the guy's going to play. He wasn't in the starting lineup again last night against the Yankees, and then when he came in to pinch hit, he was hit in the back with a pitch. The Rockies say he'll be in the lineup today, but if that's the case and he's healthy enough to play, why'd they take him out for a pinch runner when he got on base? Tulo is either the softest professional star athlete in sports, or the Rockies medical staff just has no clue. Hank in Pontiac, Michigan has a question that reads as follows. Please settle an argument between my roommate and I. Who is the better pure DH, Big Papi or Billy Butler? Now, Hank, I generally don't like to get involved in domestic disputes between couples, but since it's a fantasy baseball question, I'm going to give it a whirl. Given how well Ortiz is playing, this isn't a no-brainer. But given the difference in age and the fact that I still don't think we've seen Butler's peak as an offensive player, I'd have to go with him. But I have to say, it's not by a large margin, and for this particular year, if it turns out that Ortiz has slightly better stats, I wouldn't be totally shocked. A viewer commented to me yesterday that they found it odd that I keep speaking so eloquently about Chase Utley given the fact that I'm a Mets fan. Let me be clear about how this works. First, the fact that I'm a Mets fan is clearly a problem on days when Harvey doesn't pitch. But that's my problem. And when it comes to fantasy sports, if you're going to perform well, you need to put any team allegiances you have aside if you're going to make any objective evaluations. In fact, all things being equal, I would suggest that you try to steer clear of your favorite team's players in instances when you have a choice between what you consider two equal guys, because there's just no way you can evaluate your favorite team's players objectively. For RotoExperts, I'm Mike Cardano.